Hi everyone, Catalan Ben here. Welcome back to Catalan Soccer. Today we are talking through tactics and player profiles. This video is going to teach kids and coaches exactly how to play specific positions. Let's get into it. Now today's video is all about defenders, so we're going to go through 3 different defensive positions and the specifics of playing those roles. We're going to start out with centre-backs, we're going to look at fullbacks, and we're going to look at wingbacks. So for each of these roles, we're going to look through the specific areas of the pitch that your players should be playing in. So first of all, as a centre-back, we should occupy the centre of the pitch in the defensive third for most of the time that we're on the pitch. Now when we're in possession, we will occupy areas slightly higher up the pitch, but usually never further forward than the halfway line. So we're operating behind the halfway line and usually behind the play. We're trying to make sure that we're always in support of the man on the ball by being behind them at all times. Out of possession, it's very important that we protect the centre of the pitch, we protect the middle, we look after our goalkeeper, and we're always making sure that we don't get caught out wide. One of the most important things for a centre-back to do is stay close to their centre-back partner. So if you're playing in a 2 or a 3, make sure that you are close to the other centre-backs and make sure the gaps between you are as small as possible to prevent being played through by the other team. So now we're going to look at link players. Which players should you be linking with as a centre-back? Well, your first one that you will link with probably most often is your centre-back partner. So sideways passes and being available for your centre-back partner are really important there. Then we'll look at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper you should always be trying to support. Whenever the goalkeeper has got the ball in their hands or on the floor, especially at goal kicks, we should be trying to support him as best possible. So when your goalkeeper is trying to play out from the back, a centre-back is a very important part of that system. We need to make sure you're available for your goalkeeper away from the strikers with a little bit of time and some space to play into, but also making sure that you are vocally telling your goalkeeper that you can receive the ball from him. So don't forget to link with your goalkeeper. Next, we need to link with our fullbacks. Now, our fullbacks are usually our best way out of trouble. If you are playing as a centre-back and you have the ball in a central area with any kind of pressure on you, most of the time your best pass is out wide to your fullback. Whether that's your left back or your right back, those players are going to help you get the ball forward and keep it away from danger. So as often as you can, try and link with your fullbacks. And the final link player we'll look at for short passes is your central midfield players. So these are forward passes, hopefully to a player who's got a bit of space to turn and continue a forward attack. Try not to play to central midfield players if they are marked tight and if they are under pressure, but also don't bypass them and just smash the ball forward towards your striker if you can go to your centre mid. So try and link up with those central players and give the ball to your midfielders to keep the attack moving forward. So, as a recap, we are looking as a centre-back to link with our other centre-back partners, with our goalkeeper, with our wing-backs and full-backs, and with our central midfielders. Remember to make sure when playing as a centre-back, we are protecting the middle of the pitch, we are staying in that defensive third, and we don't break the halfway line too often, maybe going up for a set piece or a corner, but as a general rule, you should be playing within your own goalkeeper's half. So next we move on to the fullbacks. Now fullbacks and their areas of the pitch are slightly different to the centre-back. Fullbacks will play in wider areas, should usually be out near the touch lines, and they will be playing in the midfield third as well as the defensive third. Now because fullbacks are so important these days, when you look at some of the attacking systems that teams play, it's important to recognise that if you're playing as a fullback, you aren't just a defender. You are helping be a midfielder, you are even helping in attack sometimes. So playing in those wide areas helps you to get out from the back, it helps maintain width, which is great for keeping possession, but most importantly, by playing out wide, you are creating attacking chances and ways that we can go forwards with the ball. Now, what do we do out of possession as a fullback? As a fullback, we need to tuck in and lose some of that width that we've been trying to maintain when we get the ball. So when we lose the ball, we tuck in and we close the gaps between ourselves and our centre-backs, or ourselves and our central midfielders. The smaller those gaps are, the easier it is to press the ball and the harder it is for the opposing team to play through our defence. Now, as a fullback, you will sometimes find yourself ahead of the ball and making runs to try and receive the ball in slightly more attacking areas or the midfield third. If your team then loses possession, your first priority is get back behind the ball. Remember, even though you're a fullback, so you're playing out wide and you're playing a little bit more adventurous than a centre-back, your first priority when you lose the ball is you're a defender again. You get back behind the ball and you make sure that you're making recovery runs to get goal side of players and goal side of the ball. Now in possession, we're looking at the fullback for playing forward passes. We're trying to play it into our wingers down the channels. We're trying to play it into our central midfielders or central attacking midfielders to keep play moving forward. And if possible, if they're available, trying to play into strikers too. So in possession, it's very important as a fullback to be creative, to try and keep the play moving forward. And remember, if we can't go forward, then we look sideways. If we can't go sideways, because that's dangerous too, then we go backwards. But your first priority should be try and play forwards, then look sideways, then back. My next tip for playing as a fullback is to try and take a positive first touch forwards where you can. So if a defensive player or a goalkeeper has played the ball out to you in a wide area, they are probably trying to get out of trouble and they are probably in a little bit of a sticky situation. So we're trying to take a first touch that goes forwards down the pitch, continues your attack and hopefully takes the ball away from danger. So remember, get your head up, check whether it's safe to go forward with your first touch, and if it is, then fullback should be doing that every time. Get the play moving forward with your first touch. And your link players are very similar to what we mentioned before in the centre-backs. So we're still looking to link up with your goalkeeper, you're linking up with your centre-backs, and you're also linking up with your central midfielders. But as a fullback, you will also find yourself sometimes in wide areas playing balls down the channel. Those passes might go into a winger or a wide striker who's made a run out wide. And we're also looking for those central attacking midfielders. We're looking for players that are playing just behind the striker, a little bit more centrally, but further forward than your normal centre mid. So we're looking in forward passes, forward areas, and looking to link with those players too. So as a recap, we will combine with our central midfielders, we'll combine with attacking players, and we'll combine with our defenders, plus your goalkeeper when he needs your support. And then finally, the position we're going to assess is the wing-back position. So first of all, we need to know what's the difference between a wing-back and a full-back. A full-back is usually a little bit more defensive than a wing-back, and a wing-back usually plays in a back five. That means that your system will have 3 central defenders and then 2 players that play as wing-backs. Because we have 3 central defenders, it gives us more license to go forward and we can be more attacking when we're playing out wide. As a fullback, you're usually playing in a back 4, which means you only have 2 central defenders, so you have to be a little bit more careful picking your moments when to go forward. So that's the main difference between a fullback and a wingback. Wingbacks can be a bit more adventurous, they have more cover behind them, and they will join the attacks more often. So what areas of the pitch is a wingback going to play in? Now a wingback is going to play in the same wide positions that a fullback would, but they will find themselves in advance of the halfway line and further up the pitch more often. Wingbacks can even find themselves level with their strikers and being the furthest forward player on the pitch. There's often times when you look at a fullback that is a central midfield kind of area and they'll be receiving the ball and looking to try and play the ball out to wingers. But when you look at a wing-back, someone like Andrew Robertson, they will often be ahead of their strikers. They will make overlapping runs that will go beyond their strikers. But when you lose the ball, just like a fullback and just like a centre-back, you've got to recover. You still have to get back behind the ball. You still have a defensive job to do as well. So you are usually a player who's got a high athletic output. You can cover big areas of the pitch. You can really get forward, but you've got to get back too. Don't forget to do your defending. Now, when you lose possession as a wing-back, it's important to remember to regain your shape. So often when you're making attacking runs, you will break your shape to get into good areas and good spaces wherever they need to be. But when we lose the ball, even if you don't have to run back 50, 60 yards to get back behind the ball, you do need to try and regain that shape and the formation that we are originally set out in. So make sure as a wing-back, if you lose the ball, you regain your shape. Now in possession, wing-back should look at forward passes, just like we talked about as a full-back, but then we also look at overlapping runs. We briefly discussed them earlier. When a wing-back plays the ball forward or plays the ball into a central midfielder, they are usually then looking to maintain a wide position and get in advance of the ball. Try and get ahead of the ball and offer width in an attacking area. Once you do that, we're then looking at things like crosses, through balls and forward passes to create chances for your teammates. So if you do find yourself in an attacking area with the ball as a wing-back, we should be looking to cross the ball and create a chance for a teammate. If we can't cross the ball, we are looking for a pass inside, maybe to a striker or a central attacking midfielder, again to create a scoring chance. And one of my top tips when playing as a wing-back is always check before you cross the ball. Check if there's players in the box, check how crowded the area is, check how big their centre-backs are, and whether your cross should go up in the air or stay nice and low to the ground. And most importantly, check whether crossing is even the right thing to do. Sometimes wing-backs will play blind crosses without checking that go straight into a goalkeeper's hands or into an area that has no attacking players. So make sure you check, and if it's not safe to do so, just keep the ball. And finally, we'll look at the link players for wing-backs. Remember, like we said before, they are still defensive players. They are still defenders when we lose the ball. So we're looking still to maintain that link with the goalkeeper, the link with the other centre-backs, and the link with the centre-mids. But as a wing-back, we are also looking to link with strikers. We're looking to link with wingers and central attacking players too. So we're really looking at linking all over the pitch, which is why it's so important to be a good player and a clever player when you're a wing-back. You link with everybody. You are literally playing with your entire team. That's why some of the best wing-backs in the world are some of the best players in the world. Look at players like Trent Alexander-Arnold and the crosses they create, the chances they create, the assists that they get by playing in a wing-back position, but they link with everybody and they create for everybody too. So as a link player, you need to be looking for everyone on your team at the right time as a wing-back. So there you go, guys. A little recap on how to play a defensive position. We looked at centre-backs playing in deep-lying areas. We looked at full-backs playing in deep areas and midfield areas. And we looked at wing-backs playing really wide and attacking areas too. So as a defender, it's about more than just standing in position and waiting for the ball to come to you. You can be creative, you can be an attacker, and you can really help your team score. But we also have those defensive roles and responsibilities when we are out of possession. Remember, when we're out of possession, we're trying to reduce gaps between players. We are trying to get back behind the ball and make recovery runs. We're trying to protect the middle of the pitch and force the play wide wherever we can. And remember, in possession, we're looking to link with all the players around us, usually the closest players first. And don't forget that as a wing-back, we are still looking to link with those attacking players too to create chances to score. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video and we hope you learnt a little something about which areas of the pitch you can be playing in and should be playing in as a defensive player. Check out our next video on midfielders and how to play in those areas too. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more great coaching content. I'll see you next time.